Yesterday, Tier 1 Manchester United journalist Laurie Whitwell confirmed that Ruben Amorim wants to sign a midfielder this summer. Today, we've been linked with Swiss midfielder playing in the Belgian Pro League for Club Brugge, Ardon Jashari, someone that's known for being very good on the ball, very good at progressing the ball, which is the profile we need in midfield. And reports are coming out suggesting that Manchester United are readying a bid for the star. £34 million bid potentially being prepared. Is that the price tag? Now, this comes out after news earlier today that AC Milan made a bid for the player. They're making a move for the player. Has that prompted Manchester United into action? Where are the funds coming from? When AC Milan made moves to Xerxes, we then woke up and signed Xerxes later on. Could we be making a move, or could Manchester United be getting used to get his price tag up? We'll talk about that. But the big thing that I want to talk about before I get into that story is the latest on Jadon Sancho, because it really looks like Manchester United are finally going to be able and set to sell Jadon Sancho this summer. We were talking about Jadon Sancho to Fenerbahce earlier, and I said I don't trust Turkish media. I don't know if Fenerbahce are in for Sancho. I don't know if we're being used. There's been a lot of reports that Fenerbahce are in for Sancho and all of that. And it has been confirmed by good journalists that Fenerbahce are in for Sancho. He's actually had calls with Jose Mourinho. Now, these sources from Turkey also said that Sancho had accepted an offer to join Fenerbahce. That hasn't been confirmed as true yet. But Juventus are now all of a sudden advancing with Jadon Sancho, wanting to get a deal done quick. Napoli are there. Could Fenerbahce's interest hurry up other teams, and a Sancho exit could happen fast? We're going to talk about the latest on Mbeumo. Why has the bid not been rejected? Will it be accepted? What is the latest on that? Elanga sale could equal more money for United. Onana cannot agree terms with Monaco. What's going on there? And United striker options revealed. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup. I do apologise if there was any lag in that intro. We've had some connection issues today, but let's get into the news. So, Ben Jacobs confirmed some of the rumours of Fenerbahce looking at Sancho. There's been a lot of Fenerbahce Sancho talk the last 2 days, but it said you have to take the sources with a pinch of salt. Could this be agent talk? Could Sancho be using Fenerbahce to get more money or more wages out of Juventus and Napoli? No, he's actually having concrete conversations with Fenerbahce. Ben Jacobs has been spot on. He was the first person to confirm the second Mbeumo bid, which was later confirmed by Romano. And it was said that Fenerbahce are making a strong push to sign Sancho. They're prepared to offer him over 8.5 million a year in salary, which is 165k a week, which, to be honest, he wants a lot more than that, let's be honest. But I think Chelsea were only offering 150k a week. I say only 150k a week, like that's not lots. But it's an improvement from Chelsea. And that Mourinho has actually spoken to Sancho. So he's been offered something. There's conversations ongoing, and Fenerbahce are pushing for Sancho. You've heard that now from a good source. And it looks like United could be finally set to sell Sancho. Now, there was reports coming out earlier today that he accepted an offer to join Fenerbahce. Now, apparently, he's not accepted an offer, but it is serious. Other sources coming out saying that Fenerbahce have made a good offer to Sancho and the player is considering it. So he hasn't accepted it, which was reported earlier today, but they're saying he's considering it. He's not said yes, but it's the highest offer he's got so far, so he's considering it. Is he using this to try and get a bigger offer out of Juventus and Napoli? Is it Juventus and Napoli that he wants to go for? Because all of a sudden Juventus is set to have another round of talks with him. Or is he close to joining Fenerbahce? But all of a sudden, it feels like Jadon Sancho is going to be sold. It feels like he is going to be sold. He is going to go. He's had a few clubs interested in for him. And when he's available for £21 million, you can understand why there's interest. If the player says yes, negotiations with United should not be a problem. United have asked for a very fair fee for Sancho. United are confident they will get 21 million for him. But interestingly, it might not be Fenerbahce. It could be Juventus. Could Sancho be using interest from Fenerbahce to get a better wage out of Italian clubs? Could he be using the fact that, they've offered him 165k a week to try and get 170k a week out of Juventus, who maybe only offered 150k a week? Potentially. But it's now been said that Juventus will meet Jadon Sancho in the next hours to try and finalise a deal. So Juventus want to finalise a deal. United will accept 21 million. Juventus have now got to convince Sancho. He's got the offers. The clubs are going in. Now one club's in for Sancho. Lots of clubs are in for Sancho. And they've got to basically try and convince Sancho. That's the situation with Juventus. Can they convince him to come? I think he wants to come, but it's more, can they convince him to lower his wage? That's going to be the problem with Sancho. We're going to get into the Mbeumo news. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, and then we're going to get into the midfielder news. So reports are coming out from the Standard that Brentford are hoping to negotiate an easier deal with add-ons from Manchester United, whose latest bid is 55 million up front plus 5 million in add-ons. So they're suggesting the latest bid is 55 plus 5 to get Mbeumo done, and also suggesting that we're close to agreeing a deal. Now, why hasn't the bid been accepted? Why hasn't the bid been rejected? Well, I think it's not just that we've offered 55 plus 5. It might be the structure of the deal. We're only going to give them 5 million add-ons if Mbeumo scores 20 goals next season or has a 20-goal Premier League season at United. They might say, oh, well, we want 5 million in add-ons if he gets 15 Premier League goals, not 20. They might want to adapt that, or it could depend on the structure. The longer you pay a deal over, the more installments, the more expensive a deal is. I think right now, if you said to Brentford, we'll pay Mbeumo in one sitting, one go, you get all the money now, I think they would do a £55 million deal. United can't do that because of PSR. Because we want to pay in 20 million installments, they now want 60 million, which is, I can somewhat understand it. Ben Jacobs basically said this on the United stand earlier today. He said that even if Brentford reject the second bid for Mbeumo, it will be closer to evaluation. It could come down to paying in installments across a longer or shorter period, which impacts fee. If you pay installments over 2 years, you pay more each year, but the fee overall will be lower. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what happens. Sometimes, when you, you buy something big online, it could be £2,000 to buy up front, or you're paying £200 a month, but instead of 10 months, you have to pay over 14, so you end up paying more. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of the situation with Mbeumo, but the bid hasn't been rejected. I think it's about the add-ons, the structure of the deal. I think they're sorting those final things, and then we could get here we go. Now, talking of funding the deal, Newcastle made a 45 million bid to sign Elanga from Nottingham Forest. That was rejected. It looks like it would be 55 million to get a deal done. And reportedly, some sources say we have a 20 to 30% sell-on clause. So we could see Man United making anywhere from 10 to 20 million pounds from this. We could see Manchester United making 15 million pounds if Elanga goes to Newcastle for 50 million pounds, which would be pure profit, which we could again spend across a 4-year contract, which will boost United's limited finances. But let's talk about the midfield news, because a couple of sources have now been linking us to Ardon Jashari. Now, apparently a deal was complex. AC Milan bidded 25.6 million. That's set to be rejected. Fulham have interest. Apparently, he's not interested in moving to Fulham. He was the Belgian Pro League Player of the Season last year, and there's now reports from multiple sources that United are in for the player. Has this been pushed out by an agent to get him a better deal on personal terms? Has this been pushed out by AC Milan, or actually not AC Milan, sorry. Has this been pushed out by Club Brugge that United are in for him to try and push AC Milan into putting a higher bid in? United do get used by clubs. Everyone knows United need a midfielder. It would make sense to go for a midfielder of his profile. They're in talks with Milan. Should we say United are interested in him? Should we put up news that United are interested in him to scare Milan to put in a higher bid because they want more out of Milan? That's the one thing we'll be careful of, but this is what's been said. Manchester United are preparing a bid for Ardon Jashari this summer. So now reports are coming out that we're preparing a bid. We're interested, we're preparing a bid. The asking price is £34 million. Now, it will require a fixed fee of at least 29.9, and the rest can be in add-ons. But that's the situation. AC Milan and Roma are interested. AC Milan reportedly put in a bid today. Are Manchester United interested in this midfielder? Is the profile of midfielder we need? We need a midfielder. We can't spend crazy money on a Baleba. I think that Manchester United are looking and have this midfielder as a player of interest. But I don't know how advanced that is. We'll have to wait and see what Romano, Ornstein, Whitwell, what anyone else says on this, because I'm sure we want a midfielder. Laurie Whitwell said we want a midfielder. Could it be Ardon Jashari? It'll be interesting to see. Are we being used to get a bigger bid out of Milan? That's a big question. Obviously, I thought that was Xerxes. I thought we were being used to get a bigger bid out of Milan for Xerxes or get Xerxes a better offer, and that was not the case. But there's reports coming out that United are ready to make a move for this midfielder and make a bid, make a surprise move, because this has just come out of nowhere. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I spend my time watching the Belgian Pro League. I see Club Brugge in the Champions League, European games. That's about it, to be honest. The odd big game, the game against Atalanta, he was very good in that. But look, I'm not going to act like I watch him a lot, so I'm just going to show a few things that people have said about him. This guy, he said about this player and that Man United should look at him a couple of weeks ago before we were even linked to the player. He's saying that he's got very good ability to scan on and off the ball, very good positional IQ, very good awareness, very good off the ball, very smart, very good physically and athletically. But he's also known for being a good passer of the ball and, aware. He's a good progressive passer. There is questions, he says, over engine and jump timing, but a lot of people are saying this would be a good midfielder. And he is actually seen as the next Vitinha. If you look at his map here, obviously different leagues, different competition, different opponents, but his statistic map is similar to Vitinha, and he has been compared to Vitinha. In terms of the final news stories, Monaco and Andre Onana could not get an agreement over personal terms, so Onana going to Monaco is now unlikely. Monaco were in for Onana, they couldn't agree personal terms. Onana to Monaco is off, but there could be later interest from Saudi, who knows, in regards to Onana. And Samuel Lutka said that Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres and Hugo Ekitike of Eintracht Frankfurt are the two front men under considerations by United. Lukas, to many sources, said after Mbeumo we want a striker. Lukas is now saying the strikers be like Gyökeres, which depends on Arsenal, and Hugo Ekitike, which could depend on the price. So they could be one to watch. So that is your Manchester United news rounded up in under 12 minutes. If you like this content, late night, every evening throughout the transfer window when there's a lot of news where I round up the news in a short video, make sure to subscribe if you're new. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time. Bye.